Mario Kart 64 needs no introduction. While nowhere near my favorite Mario Kart game, I can still have a good time with it. I've been wanting to get into making those ranking videos where people will rank all the tracks in a specific Mario Kart game. Since it has so few tracks compared to later Mario Kart games, I thought Mario Kart 64 would be a good place to start. Without further ado, let's go. Number 16, Choco Mountain. Look, I know this one has its fans, but I've just never really liked it for whatever reason. In fact, I've never been a fan of this track in any game it's been in. I guess it bothers me that the track doesn't actually look like chocolate. It just feels like brown mountain. I know that the N64's graphical limitations don't help here, but it doesn't look like chocolate in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe either. Outside of that, I'm not that big on the music, and the track design just doesn't feel all that engaging to me. It all culminates in a track that just doesn't do it for me. Number 15, Moo Moo Farm. Moo Moo Farm is basically just a circle. This concept has been done so much better in the form of Moo Moo Meadows. There's really not too much to say about this track. Those two bridges you go under are kinda cool, I guess? Yeah, not much to say at all. Multi-moles. Number 14, Luigi Raceway. I would consider this a tier above Moo Moo Farm. While this is a super lame track in Mario Kart 7, it kinda works better in this game. I guess that's probably because this game's track standards are lower, but I digress. It's a very basic circuit track, one of the most basic in the entire series, but it's fun enough to drive on. Those tunnels are sorta cool, and that balloon with the item box is kinda cool too. Number 13, Wario Stadium. Ah, the first stadium track. They've done these types of tracks a few times since, and they've all done it better than this. This track just feels like a bunch of bumps were just randomly put on the road. Some of them are kinda fun to go off of, but this game having no trick system really holds it back here. But the real problem is that this track is just way too damn long. It's the second longest track in the game. I know there's a shortcut you can do to skip most of the track, but unintentional shortcuts are not taken into account in these rankings. This track should have been 2 laps instead of 3 if you ask me. Number 12, Rainbow Road. You see, a part of me loves this track. It's so peaceful, and the music is amazing. But yeah, I can't deny that it's way too long. It's the longest track in the game. This track takes at least 5.5 minutes, probably at least 7 minutes if you're not good at the game. And it's also too easy. There's these chain chomps that are munching on the road and you'll have to dodge them occasionally, but it's not that hard. The entire track is surrounded by guardrails, so you'll never fall off unless you're trying to do that cool skip in the beginning. Funnily enough, I think the Mario Kart 8 version is way too short. In the time it takes you to complete 1 lap in the original version, you'd already be done the entire race in Mario Kart 8. But overall, the Mario Kart 8 version is still easily better. Number 11, Sherbet Land. This is yet another example of a track that was made better somewhere else, though even in Mario Kart Wii I still didn't love it. In this game, it just doesn't feel very good to drive on. The penguins are also a lot more annoying. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about this track. It's just pretty much an ice track, that's all it is. The entire track is ice pretty much, and there's a cave and that's kinda cool. But yeah, there's a big penguin in the middle of the track though, and that's kinda cool. Number 10, Calamari Desert. This is a track I've recently started to come around on. I never used to really like it that much, similar to Choco Mountain, but it is actually quite unique. There aren't any other tracks that sometimes require you to stop for a train. However, the version I'm growing to like is the version in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and not so much this version. This version just doesn't have that much going on in comparison. No glider ramps is understandable, but there's no ramps at all in this version. It's just a barren wasteland for most of the track. Still, since I like this track more now, it's number 10 instead of number 14. Number 9, Koopa Troopa Beach. This track is kinda forgettable to me, to be honest. But for a Mario Kart 64 track, it actually has quite a lot going on. Lots of ramps, 2 separate shroom shortcuts that are both tricky to pull off, And yeah, it's quite a nice track actually, better than I remember. Number 8, Toad's Turnpike. I know this track gets some hate, but I kinda like it. It is a little on the longer side, being the third longest track in the game, but it's nowhere near as bad as Wario Stadium or Rainbow Road. The cars are kinda fun to dodge, and the atmosphere is soothing. It feels like a relaxing nighttime drive in the city. Oh yeah, and it has some of the best music in the entire game. I'd say I prefer this version over the Mario Kart 8 version in terms of music and atmosphere, even though that version is probably a better track overall. Number 7, Frappe Snowland. And here we have the better snow track. I don't really know what to say about it. It's not annoying like Sherbet Land. It feels cozier, maybe? I guess that Mario sculpture is cool, and so are the snowmen. That section with the ice walls is neat too, I guess. That's the thing. It's just a solid course, so there's not much to say. Number 6, Yoshi Valley. Ah, Yoshi Valley. I feel conflicted about this version now. I used to prefer it actually, because it was cool that you couldn't see your placement. But after years with the Mario Kart 8 version, I don't think that even matters to me anymore, and that version is just so much better, especially visually. This version is still cool, and it's a unique concept. There's tons of branching pathways you can take, whereas in most other courses there's only one, maybe 2 paths. One annoying thing about this course is how long it takes you to fall down to the bottom of the valley before Lakitu picks you back up, but hey, it's still a good course, and who doesn't like that Yoshi egg in the end? Number 5, Mario Raceway. This is where the tracks start getting really good in my opinion. You may be surprised to see this ranked so high. See, the thing about me is, for some reason I like the circuit tracks in the Mario Kart games quite a lot. I don't think they're the best tracks in the games, but I'd usually rank them higher than most people would. That said, this one ranks high because it's just a really solid course. It has good theming, it has a big mushroom, cool pipe at the end. It also works really well with the game's controls. I may prefer the version in Mario Kart Wii, but this one is solid too. Number 4, Royal Raceway. It's got a trickier layout than Mario Raceway, and a big jump which is fun to take. You can also go to the Peach's Castle grounds from Super Mario 64 and just drive around. That's just so cool, and nothing like this appears in any other Mario Kart track ever. Unfortunately, the Mario Kart 8 version removed that, even though that version of the track is overall better. This version is kinda just another raceway. Number 3, DK's Jungle Parkway. This is a track that has grown on me a lot over the years. It's a jungle track with a bunch of winding turns and a jump that goes over a river. Though once again, I think the Mario Kart Wii version is better for a couple of reasons, namely the prettier visuals with like the orangish water, and the removal of the coconuts that get thrown at you when you drive off-road. I know some people like that detail, but I don't know, I just find it annoying. One thing I just realized that's kinda cool about it though is that the shortcut in the cave probably exists so you have a shroom shortcut you can take without getting hit by a coconut. Because if you're not aware, even if you shroom across the grass anywhere else, you will get hit by a coconut, which will trigger this game's strict ghost save system, where it says that you can no longer save the ghost if you like fall off the edge or something, and that will happen if you go on the grass in this track at all. So the fact that there's a shortcut that lets you bypass that is pretty good. Either way, it's a fun track, it wouldn't be ranked this high otherwise. Number 2, Banshee Boardwalk. Oh boy, now we've reached the really good tracks. See, the thing with Mario Kart 64 is that a lot of its track ideas have just been done better elsewhere. That's not really the case here though. Mario Kart hasn't really had that many ghost-themed tracks. I'd say Banshee Boardwalk is better than both the SNES Ghost Valley tracks and the ghost tracks in Mario Kart Super Circuit. It's also similarly themed when you think about it. They're all boardwalk tracks, and the Super Circuit ones even take place on lakes, which Banshee Boardwalk also does. Outside of that, they didn't really do any ghost-themed tracks for a while. They just remade old ones in Mario Kart DS and Wii. That's until Mario Kart 8 with Twisted Mansion, which even that track has some missed potential if you ask me. What I'm getting at here is that there's a chance that this might actually be my favorite ghost-themed track in the whole series. Anyway, As for the track itself, it's got some tight turns, but they never feel unfair. There's also a Cheep Cheep that jumps out of the water, which you can barely see below you, by the way. The water is not easy to see in this version, and that's cool. The atmosphere is lonely and eerie, just the way it should be. The music helps emphasize this. Then you go through this abandoned building, and it has these creepy arrows drawn inside. Bats fly out at you as well. I kinda wish we spent a little longer inside this building, but oh well. I also like how the Mario Kart banner thing at the finish line slowly fades in as you approach it. It gives off this spooky vibe that's hard to explain, like you're not supposed to be here or something like that. I think a Mario Kart 8 version of this track would have been really cool. The building could have had anti-gravity, maybe the track could have dipped into the water like the Booster Course Pass version of GBA Boo Lake, but oh well. Number 1, Bowser's Castle. Now this track is great. This is a very unique Bowser's Castle. I mean, we have a bunch of thwomps, a spiral, bridges, Bowser statues, imprisonment, and we even see that Bowser has a couple of gardens here. That's a funny image. Just imagine Bowser with a watering can doing some gardening. Outside of that, it's a tough course with lots of tight turns, but it never feels unfair. But the real star of the show here is the atmosphere. The haunting choir and the music makes you feel like you've been sentenced to stay in this deserted castle for the rest of your life. Why do I say deserted? Just look out into the distance. You see nothing but an endless sea of lava and the night sky. It's just perfect. It's unsettling, soothing, and nostalgic all at the same time to me, and that's not something I can say about any other piece of music off the top of my head. Now, this probably isn't surprising at this point, but yeah, I do prefer the Mario Kart Wii version. It just drives better, and it added stuff like lava geysers in a few places. But don't let that take too much away from how good the original version already is. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that the Wii version removed Marty, so yeah, there's that. Well, I suppose that's about it. I guess I didn't have all that much to say about most of these tracks, but maybe I'll have more to say about the tracks in the newer Mario Kart games. If you liked what you saw,
I would really appreciate it if you could like the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps out more than you think. Also, did you know that only 1% of people are subscribed? You should fix that.
Anyway, that's all for now. Take care.